We're going to be starting our probability unit and statistics unit. With this, I want to give you guys a little bit of an intro to probability first. Before we get into more complicated differentiation between probabilities. So the first thing with probability, we're going to go through some of our vocab first. Experimental probability. This is when you actually go through and do an experiment in order to find your probability. So for example, if I were to flip a coin, let's say 100 times, and heads came out 56. So my probability then would be 56 over 100. And that's because it's this experimental probability. We flipped a coin 100 times and it ended up being that the heads came out 56 times. Okay, and then we have what's called theoretical probability. Theoretical probability is something that you aren't exactly doing an experiment, but what is the probability going to look like before an experiment? So for instance, if I was going to flip a coin, I have a 1/2 chance. Because I have 2 total options and heads is only one of them. So a probability, realistically, when you're listing it, the probability of an event is how many ways an event will occur over the total number of ways possible. Okay, so for instance, you know, the coin, there's only one way for you to flip a heads, and there were 2 total possible ways for you to flip it. So for instance, I want the probability of rolling a 2 or a 3 on a die. Well, my options are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have 6 total ways. And my 2 options up above are 2 and 3. That's the probability of it occurring. And so that would be 2 over 6 to give me a grand total of 1/3. You do not have to list it out this way. If you can go ahead and jump to this, that's fine. Go ahead and jump to that. That's totally okay. Let's do another example. Let's say I want to pick a card from a deck, and I want the probability of it being a face card. If you're not exactly sure about cards, That's something that we can talk about. I have decks if you need them, but looking at a face card, we already know the total is 52. I've already got that listed there. There's 52 cards total. Within a deck of cards, there are 12 face cards. So I would need to reduce this. When I reduce this, I get 3/13. Final answer. So with this, we're going to be looking at all different kinds of probabilities and trying to figure it out, whether we're working with a spinner or not a spinner. And this is just the basic part of it. We're going to get a little bit more complicated as time goes on.